Welcome to ETS Energetic Transmission Sessions. I'm Donna Lopez. This is your mid-month energy forecast for December 15th through the 31st. When I look down, I'm looking at my calendar on my phone, so just so you know if I'm looking down what I'm looking at. I don't do anything to prepare other than connect with my guides and, meditate a bit. These days, meditation is more of a walking meditation for me because they come in pretty frequently throughout the day, which is beautiful. Anyways, with that, let's look at the 15th. We're going to start the 15th, which is Saturday. We're going to look at the 15th and the 16th. Okay, let's just look at Saturday, Sunday. For some of you, I see that I feel like you've been either fighting with someone or fighting with a situation that you have made big in your head, all right? Because as we move forward in life, very often we'll find that was a waste of my time and energy. But what I'm seeing here is that you have already, as we come into the 15th, you've already decided to let go of something that you were trying to, I feel like a lot of you were defending yourself against something rather than wanting to fight it, just defending yourself. And I see that you are have kind of put some closure to that and said, you know what, enough of this. It's a waste of my energy and it's affecting my own temperament. So as I see you moving into the 15th, I see even more of a surrender. And let's just say you recognizing that you are surrendering to that everything doesn't need to be a battle, that the universe will support you, so we don't necessarily have to fight things as much as just let go and allow the universe to do their job, because they're very good at doing their job. So I see a closure here, and it feels that feels like perfection. So I want to say for some of you too, whatever this was more of an annoyance to you. And some of you have some perfectionist qualities, that you have high standards for yourself, and you had reached your limit on what you wanted to tolerate with someone or a situation. But understanding that perfection is really in the eye of the beholder. All right, what's perfect for you is not perfect for someone else. Because Spirit always wants to share with you spiritual tools so that you can learn as you move forward what to engage in and what not to engage in. So let's look a little more here. I see some of you too are opening up to the holidays a little bit more, opening your doors, wanting people to come in, inviting people over. I do see a lot of play, a lot of fun and joy. For some of you, I want to say Saturday night into Sunday, I see that some of you still may be struggling with trying to control, or an emotional upset that you have not let go of still. Apart from the one that I saw that you have decided to let it go, this is something more on an emotional level. Something that, okay, you're going, it bit you in the rump. Okay, let's put it that way. And sometimes it shell shocks you, because it comes out of nowhere. Our enemies, when we know they're coming, it's like, all right, we know we have this guard up, right? But when it's a friend that comes with a smile and then we get stuck with something, it's like, whoa, wait, I didn't expect that. But this feels like a very strong emotional wound, hurt. And I feel like whatever has occurred, I hear jealousy. So there's a little bit of jealousy involved here. And yeah, I'm getting a nice click in my room for confirmation on that. They're saying that this is also picking out a wound for something for many of you, I'm hearing around the age of 5, that this was something that came up around the age of 5 that is coming back to revisit you. But I do see as you move into, Sunday, that you let go, that you kind of relax with it. But Saturday night, I see that it could be a real angst for some of you. I also see that some of you This is more into Sunday. I see you pulling out a volume of work. It's almost like I see a literary volume of books, and I see you pulling it out and like looking at this volume of a collection of works that you want to revisit. I love books, but this is, and they hold a special place. So whatever this is, it's like a trilogy, is what it feels like, or and it's something that's like I'm going to reread these. A new me wants to reread this work that I loved so much at this other time in my life. And for some of you, I also see you actually writing old-fashioned, letters. Now, I hope we don't lose our writing skill set with texting, but even for some of you, I'm seeing like a pen dipped in an inkwell if you're doing any sort of calligraphy or specific type of writing. I see you doing some sort of specific type of calligraphy or writing. And I feel like, that whatever you are creating is, because some of it is just plain old writing a letter to people, but I do feel some sort of importance and impact that you want to make sure that you have, that you don't lose a tradition that maybe was memorable to you. And for others of you that are practicing calligraphy or enjoy that type of work, I see just a really beautiful flow. It's almost like allowing the pen to work with you rather than you directing it so much. All right. All right, so let's look at, let's see, we're going to look at the 17th to the 21st. That's Monday to Friday. Okay, for some of you, I feel like when you hit Monday, it's almost like you're looking in this cup, the theory, the cup is half full or the cup half empty. But I see you looking and it's only like 3/4, and it's like you're looking like, why isn't there more here? Or I need more. I need more. But as I see you moving on through Monday, I see you like kicking that cup and going, you know what, I'm going to recognize everything where more already is for me. Rather than measuring, sometimes if we focus on something, especially if we're adding worry energy to it, or counting, as they say, they always have that saying, when you're playing cards, don't count your cards before the game is over. I don't know how that goes. Obviously, I'm losing it now, but in other words, don't count your chickens before they're hatched. And I feel like this recognition will come in on Monday. Like, I have what I need today, right now. I don't need to focus on this being more or me getting more. Just let it go and let's move through the day. And I feel like, and as you move through the day, you're moving through the week. And I see you forging a nice path. As you move into Thursday, I see there'll be some, I'd say some obstacles, okay? It's not even really like an obstacle, but something to be aware of. And okay, they're saying you choose the importance of your obstacles. So for some people, when they have an obstacle, it's like, oh, this is a chance to sit back and rest. What does this need to teach me, to share with me? And if it's a second time that you're hitting, or fourth, fifth time you're hitting this type of obstacle, you maybe want to sit with it a bit and go, you know what? I've been here before at this crossroad, and maybe I want to let this dissolve itself for itself. Rather than me trying to move it, push it, or even going around it isn't necessarily, that's actually kind of a good option in a lot of ways. But I see a lot of you sitting and contemplating and sort of like, I'm just not going to do anything. I'm just going to not do anything, because it's recognizing that you're the one that puts the importance on whether or not this even is an obstacle at all. Could be just an illusion. And I also am hearing very much about your vital forces, that our energy and our vital forces that really bring life to this meat suit, that it's very important to be aware of diluting your vital forces or just spinning your wheels to spin them. Okay, because this energy that you have that motivates, and it's the life force that actually brings animation to this force field, is there is a constant flow, and you do have to move that vital force in order for it to be refilled and regenerated. But allowing it to be drained or diluted or um, misused, and I want to say in terms of misuse, okay, I'll give you an example because they're saying give them an example. It's like trying to be your brother's keeper. Okay, mind your business, not someone else's. If you take on other people's issues, that becomes your karma, your lesson, not their lesson. And they need to learn these lessons. So while we want to carry our brothers forward, um, we also need to recognize that they have the ability to move themselves forward, and that any stalemates that they have in their life at a certain point are really there to help them adjust their energy and their reference for how to be a human being in this dimension. All right. All right. Let's see what else. I'm hearing something about work life. All right. I'm hearing enjoying work life. I feel like a lot of you are going to go, I really enjoy my work, or I really enjoy my work life. For a lot of people, that is their only time where they actually engage with other people. If they live alone, this is that it becomes an extension of their family. But also just recognizing that they love maybe say they love even the commute to their work. Maybe they like that downtime before they get to work. They like the light in the office. Like, I'm so glad I work in a place that's lit up. Um, I just see you really embracing and appreciating your workspace. Yeah. All right. And for some of you too, I want to say, apart from that, I'm seeing some of you I'm seeing a clam and it's closed up. So I feel like some of you have some rumblings of some things you want to say that you're not saying. Okay, they're saying there's a pearl, but pearls are in oysters, not clams. All right, but they're using the analogy that very much like an oyster that gets pushed all around and in the ocean, the pearl that's inside of it gets polished with all that pushing and movement, and the sand is like clearing and cleaning it. And so for a lot of you, there's this rumbling of some information and some insight that you are, this is really funny because they're saying jealous to share. Now that's a really interesting analogy. So let me clarify that. If I need to. They're just saying that it's like you're so like what's growing up inside of you, and you are just so like ecstatic to share what this is. For some of you, I'm hearing a book. For some of you, I'm hearing something like a legal form or a legal format. So there's some sort of epiphany idea, something that's ruminating within you. And so I see this like really getting ready to open up. All right. So it's almost like you recognizing what's growing inside of you with your ideas and things you want to create and develop for yourself. Yes, and I am seeing like a stamp, like you're giving your own stamp of approval, but also it's almost like a memory stamp too. It's as though you are awakening to why you're here, or that you came here to do this specific thing, or that you are making your stamp on this timeline. This sojourn is so short, and many of us I don't think we set out to really make an impact on the world. Some people do. It's like, I want to have a life of service, and that's where I'm at. But for others, it's just growing ourselves up, or just fumbling around and then finding ourselves along the path. But I see you recognize, wow, this is my stamp on my life. This is my stamp that says this is what I came here to do, not just for me, but for everyone. So I feel very good about it. Yeah, I'm even hearing paralegal. So I feel like some of you may connect with someone to actually, because I was also getting a hit almost like oh gosh, I can't think of it right now. But anyways, getting this approved so that it's like, this is my idea. I want a legal, a legalization around this idea that I've got. I want it known that this was my idea. Yes. I know there's a word for it and it's so simple, but right now I'm not getting that. All right, so let's move into the 22nd and the 23rd. All right. All right. For some of you, I see it's like I dream of Genie. You're like thinking, you're trying to make something appear and happen and manifest. And it's so cute because some of you are trying so hard. It's like, oh, if I just push it really hard, it's going to happen. And, it's like opening your eye to see it before it's actually had a chance to kind of come to fruition a little bit. There's so much excitement about what you want to create. But they're saying, remember, Source is the omnipotent creator. You are an aspect of that creator. So some of you might be relying on your own energy rather than allowing Source energy to use your vehicle, and you have fun being that co-creator with the creator. So that it's actually like you're more relaxed with it. Like, yeah, this is fun. This is going to happen, and just let it reveal itself. Yeah. So they're just saying, don't forget whose child you are. All right. They're schooling us a little bit. All right. All right. Let's see what else. A lot of you are going to be having soul memories. That actually came in when I meditated briefly before I started this, about us having memories, soul memories, and just memories around our soul's growth, good and bad, good, bad, and indifferent, and how we have come up through those experiences. So I see these soul memories being reignited, kind of knowing, like, I remember when I got that epiphany, when I first felt and knew something was different, or when I woke up to life. There's some of that going on. There's a lot of shadow work going on right now too, where people are, revisiting aspects of themselves that they're not so proud of, but also learning to embrace and love that part of themselves for what it teaches us not to do many times, but also for it actually reminding us of our own humanity, because very often we want to point the finger here instead of the three that come right here, and be focused on what we need to learn and grow within ourselves. And none of us are beyond failing, all right, or picking ourselves up and succeeding, all right. They're saying failure is a success. What not to do. All right. Okay. Let's see what else then. All right. Let's look at the 24th to the 28th. I'm seeing I'm seeing a little bit of a lack of clarity. It's almost like I'm seeing a window and somebody's taking and smearing the visual through the mirror, through the window. So I feel like some of you are, some of us will not be sure of our future, let's say, or what's happening. We're not going to be seeing things clearly for at least 3 days. I would say the 24th, 25th, 26th. By the 27th, I see it's almost like the way that fog will come in and kind of clear and clear it for itself. In other words, what isn't clear doesn't need to be clear. So know that this lack of clarity is there for everyone to experience for a wee bit. And when it is time for this clarity to come in, it will slowly and clearly reveal itself. I would say by the 26th, 27th, we're going to really see it starting to open up and go, oh, okay, wow, now I see. It's almost like understanding too. I think there may be some things around our material goods, things of that nature, and maybe not knowing materially how our lives will be financially in some ways, or with our material goods. It almost feels more so like household goods, and the things that I can't say that they necessarily sustain us every day, but if you don't have a house or a place with a roof over you, then yeah, you definitely would care about that. So I see maybe some imbalance in the system, okay, in the global system. So just sit with it, let it go, let it do what it needs to do, and then it will clarify itself, and we'll have much more clarity and know what our priorities are and where to put our energy. All right. And for some of you, I see you're really trying hard to find out what's going on with, say, the Earth's energies. And I'm just hearing this. It's like as my head is to the Earth, it's like I'm hearing boom, 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 like I'm getting kicked away, like get away from me. I feel like Mother Earth may be kicking us back. She may be saying, and I do feel that Earth is birthing a new I say wherever there's been destruction, just as this earth has always gone through cycles of where there's water, then there's no water in these areas. Like the Grand Canyon used to be full of water, right? Um, she is renewing herself and she is rebirthing herself. And very much, if you've ever been near an animal that is going through birth, or it's not necessarily without pain, and they prefer to be alone, and if you try to touch them or mess with them, they will kick you away. And so Mother Earth is going to be going through some shifts and some big changes within her body, and just love her, hold sacred space for her, and allow her to do this adjustment that she needs to do for everyone. I am hearing something about Asia. So that energy is coming in very, very clear. I don't know what is going on with all of that in regards to this, but I am hearing Asia. All right. As we know, we've seen lots of different destructions with the earth and things the volumes getting turned up. We're getting awakened. All right. She's done her best to nudge us gently, and now she's just going to roll around and get it done. But we need to leave her alone and let her do what she needs to do, because what's happening within her body is not unlike what happens within anybody's body that is giving birth. That is happening to them, through them. And you're no more in charge of stopping that cycle than than anyone else would be. In other words, I guess these days, yeah, they could give you something to stop the contractions, but this is something that has to happen, that's going to happen, and that is happening. It's a flowering of a new humanity is what I'm feeling. So, let's just hold some sacred space for her. All right, let's look at all right, let's look at the 29th, which is Saturday, to the 31st. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of like the 29th. I see like, okay, let's move this. Okay, let's do this. I see a lot of really directing and getting things done, moving things around, shifting and changing things. It's almost like you wake up and it's like, okay, you know what? We're clearing everything out of the living room. We're going to start all over again and rearrange everything and change things up. I just see a lot of changing things up, but you being the one that's directing all these changes. All right, they're saying you are a principal player. So, in other words, if you need to make some changes in your life, you're the one that's going to have to do it. Don't wait for somebody else to tell you to do it. You are the principal player in your life, and nothing's going to change without you changing it. So this is a coming to Jesus moment, putting on your big girl, big boy britches and getting things done. I feel like some of us are going to be tightening our financial belt and saying, you know what, I've been here, I've done this before, and I can get it done again. So I just feel a lot of self-responsibility. And, I don't feel a heaviness with any of this, other than I just feel really a direct impulse and insight to get it done. Okay, moving forward as we move into the 31st, in that I'm seeing like, it reminds me of people when they would do the poses for their school picture, with their head a certain way. It's like I see you posed and like ready for the new year, and I've got my school picture done, and I did this year. It's almost like I see you writing in the book of life and signing off like, okay, I did that. That's good. It's very interesting because as I'm looking at this book of life, the writing in it is very different than what we would see on this earth plane. I know a lot of people do a type of writing where, let's say, the light beings or the star beings come through and channel through them. It looks like Arabic, or not that that is that, okay, but I want to say that's the reference I have. Not that I've seen Arabic writing, but it feels very much like it's ancient knowledge. Whatever this is, to anyone else it looks foreign, but to you signing off on this book of life or signing this chapter off, I see you knowing what other people wouldn't know, but that you know, like something that somebody else wouldn't pick it up and know, oh, what's that even say? But it's your book of life. You could think of it like computer coding too, or like a computer code looks totally different, right? And I know many times we've been compared to, are we computers and are we being programmed, et cetera, et cetera. But this is more of ancient knowledge and you fulfilling a prophecy within yourself. Like I've done what I need to do for this year. But I see you like checking it off and ready to move forward. I see some of you are really going off in a new direction. Not necessarily a whole new path, but I'm going to go right this way. I know exactly where I'm going. And I see very strong, very direct, and really knowing where you're going, what you're doing, etc. All right. Okay. All right. So let's look at the 15th through the 31st as a whole and see if there's anything else. Oh, well, I'm hearing hopeful, and I'm also hearing faithful. And I'm also hearing faithful servant. And I'm hearing again soul memories. All right. I also am seeing that a lot of you will come into a knowing that like Dorothy, I've always had the power. I've always had the power. And I'm hearing blaze. I feel like some of you are just going to blaze right through these, from the 15th to the 31st, just blaze right through it. All right, they're saying collectively you're coming to understand your own humanity or lack thereof. And I also am hearing about lack of approval, that some of you are going to be shutting the door on any space where it was like, where you were looking for approval. It's like, shutting the door on that. I don't need that approval any longer. All right, a lot of you I see are worried. There's this worried energy. But then on the other side of that coin, I see worry-free. It's almost like the yin yang, okay? And they're saying we want to bring that balance. They both need one another. Worry, if it's an impulse to make a change, then you'll do it. And worry-free is a wonderful way of being, but that doesn't, the energy of worry isn't necessarily useful unless you do something about it. If you look at it as a signal, like it's a signal to accomplish something, being worry-free is wonderful. The Zen life is wonderful, but also along with that, I feel like on some level, this is really interesting too, for this worry-free aspect, they're saying compromise. Because some people, they're saying that what's happening is that some people in the worry-free aspect are like, oh, I'm worry-free, I don't have anything, because you don't care about anybody else in some ways, all right? This isn't everybody, but this is just an aspect of where people are so unplugged and disconnected. And this is, I've heard this analogy within this community of light workers, I'd say too, of, they just think, oh, things will take care of themselves. And you know what? Very often they do. But they're saying that get in there and compromise and be aware, be awake. But I see this kind of a balance between the worry and the worry-free energies. I see them working together as a nice marriage of compromise, all right? Yeah, and for some of you, I see you picking up stakes and moving. I see some of you making some big changes. It's like I'm hearing the Prime Creator. It's like the Prime Creator has told you, and it's time to pick up your stakes. It's time for you to leave, make some changes, a move, big move, like I'm moving out of state, I'm moving to another country, etc. Um, hmm. Yeah. Beyond that, they're saying happy holidays. And for those of you that don't celebrate, um, they're saying that being you is the celebration. All right. Now, I will leave you with that part of my mid-month, but I want to share that as I close, I am offering a reset activation. It's from January 1st to January 5th. These are all remote sessions. Many of you joined in when I did the abundance activation. So you can read about the reset activation from the 1st to the 5th of January. These are all remote sessions, and you'll find out more about it on the link that I'll share with you. That closes on December 30th. So if you want to get in, do so by December 30th. It is also less, it costs less to do it right now. December 20th, it goes up. Another thing I'll share is this month's free ETS activation is going to be on my website, and it's called Serendipity, and it will be on there from the 15th. Let me see here. Let me see how long we'll have it up there. Okay, from the 15th through to about the 17th. So for 3 days, it'll be up there for free. Use it as much as you like. Share it with your friends. But I please ask that you, that if you'd like to purchase it, that it will be in my store, ETS Now. And you can go in there at any time, and you'll have it for free to use whenever you like. There are plenty other activations in there that address many other things, but right now they wanted us to work on serendipity and being aware of being in alignment with our best life. All right. So with that, I want to say thank you so much. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. To those of you that don't celebrate Christmas, Merry you. And, it's been a pleasure to do this full year with all of you, and I look forward to 2019. Namaste.